Okay. What's up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys because it is time for another deck profile, and I'm bringing this to you all from YGO Pro. So it is a rebuild Sky Striker Ace deck, and I did a couple of changes. The new format is kinda will. I mean, the Sky Strikers are still doing well. That's a good thing. We still kind of don't know exactly what will happen in April. Will Skystrikers in the TCG get hit? Will they not get hit? It's just something that I want to just play around with, see what I can get some more efforts off of. And although the most expensive cards in this deck are still very expensive, I just rather keep it as a digital version and not do an RIL because it's just cheaper. And unless like they do hit engage in Widow Anchor or engaged, I'm really just not going to shell out for those cards or they get reprinted. So, with all that said and done, let's just go through this deck profile. So, for my Sky Striker Ace deck, I'm running 3 copies of Sky Striker Ace Ray. My hand traps of choice are Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, Ghost Ogre, and Snow Rabbit, and then I'm still taking in the Jet Synchron. For my spells, I'll start off with all of the Sky Striker cards. I have 3 copies of Engage, 3 copies of Widow Anchor, 2 copies of Hercules Base, 2 copies of Area Zero, 1 copy of Jamming Wave, 1 copy of Afterburner, 1 copy of Shark Cannon, and 1 copy of Multi-Roll. For the regular spells, I'm running 3 copies of Foolish Burial of Goods, 2 copies of Twin Twister, 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, 1 copy of Foolish Burial, 1 copy of Regeki and Dark Hole, 1 copy of Upstar Goblin, 1 copy of Monster Reborn. I'm sorry, I forgot about Sky Striker Ace Hornet Drone, and then I can round it off here with Metal Foes Fusion. So that is all of the spells. For the trap cards, the only set of trap cards I'm running is Infinity Impermanence. I do apologize if I'm butchering that name. I'm not good with this name, so I just normally go for Infinity. And then for the extra deck, I'm rocking 3 copies of Striker Ace Suzuku, 3 copies of Kigiri, 2 copies of Kina, 2 copies of Hayate, 1 copy of Needle Fiber, 1 copy of Swimming Sorceress, 1 copy of Barrel Sword Dragon, a copy of Tapologic Bomber Dragon, and 1 copy of Hyperspeed Roid Kanabara. So there's no Exceed monsters. There's only 1 Link monster, a whole bunch of Links. There's 1 Synchro, and then pretty much what this deck focuses on is, of course, the lovely Sky Striker Ace Ray, getting her into her other various forms, and then doing as much damage as you possibly can, and getting into a lot of your card combos. So, with Sky Striker Ace Ray, you have a lot of benefits in 1 monster. She has the ability to summon her Link monsters to the board by sending herself to the graveyard. She has the ability to summon herself if another Sky Striker monster you control is destroyed. Preferably because I'm picturing the fact when the Sky Striker Link monster is destroyed, you can special summon her from the graveyard, which does help then because you can tag her, you can send her back to the graveyard to get someone else onto the board. If you can utilize your spells and traps correctly, and you can get them to really just do a lot more with your thing. I think the only issue this deck has, well, 2 issues this deck does have to deal with. One is Ultrageist, or just any spellcaster deck in general, because a lot of them are going to run Secret Village. And the other thing is decks like Blue Eyes that have all these big beaters, and you have to do a lot of extending plays in order to get rid of them. But if you can get through that, you're pretty much said and done. The hand traps of choice, like I think is honestly said, Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs is a must keep. Now with her reprint as a common, I think a lot of people are easily going to get to her. And we have the beautiful Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. I love Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. I have no problems with Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. I need a third one because I have 2 supers. I want another super. And I feel like he is one of the stronger. If you don't have Bella, and we won't get Null None, or I don't know what her translated name will be, but we won't get her till um, May. And from looking at her in particular, they're not bad cards, but they're very situational hand. She's a very situational hand trap. Same thing with Ghost Reaper, Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre are pretty much the only three hand traps in the TCG that I feel have a lot more prevalence, a lot more usage, and just overall a lot more defenses and offenses to helping a deck win a game. As opposed to, if you can include Max C, yeah, we could, but the TCG doesn't have Max C, the OCG does. And I feel like that would have just been even more of a problematic situation because most cards, well, Ash Blossom can negate the abilities of Max C, but the problem here is that, well, we have to draw to either of them to either combat each other. And for the most part, most things that you're running either have to auto protect themselves or find a way to get over an effect in order for you to do something with them. And it's pretty much what it looks when it comes to these hand traps is what optimal defenses can you get off of these cards when you go defensive or when you go offensive. So for me, I just choose my rabbits in my Ash Blossoms. If you don't have Effect Veilers, if you have Effect Veilers but you don't have Affinities, you can just swap out your Affinities and play Effect Veilers. That's pretty much what I'm doing because I don't own Affinities, so I'm just swapping in for Effect Veilers. The Jet Synchron is pretty much here to be a level 1 tuner so that you can go into Kanabara, and Kanabara is an amazing monster, which I'll get into when I go into the extra deck. So as far as the spells go in terms of the Sky Striker Aces, of course our biggest hitters are Engaged and Widow Anchor, which do a lot of the bigger pushes, the bigger setups, and the bigger combos. If you want to, always extending my combos will be the help of Foolish Burial of Goods and Metal Foes Fusion. So a lot of people who are probably new to this deck want to ask, why is Metal Foes Fusion in here? Why are Foolish Burial of Goods here as well? Well, Foolish Burial of Goods has the ability to send a spell or trap card from your deck to your graveyard, but you only use one per turn. What you do with it is you set up. You pretty much send Metal Foes Fusion to the graveyard, activate its effect to send it back to the deck, and draw a card off of it. That way, you can draw into a lot of your other card pieces or draw into things to save your hand. It is very risky, but what draw cards aren't risky? Draw cards don't have a lot of backdraws to them. Even Maxi has a drawback to him. So, the big thing about this is it is a spell card. You only activate it once. You only activate the draw effect once a turn, and then you have to hope and pray that it doesn't get banished. But with Triple Foolish Burial of Goods, you're finding ways to send it, and those help as well with stuff like Kagiri and Kagari and Suzuku. I did reduce the number of jamming waves and afterburners just because I wanted to fit in Twin Twister. And Twin Twister is a really good way to help do extended defenses, especially against decks like Ultra Geist that sit on Secret Village, Pendulum decks because you don't want their scales, and just nasty traps and spells that you don't want to deal with, especially when you don't want to run into Silent Warnings and Strikes and stuff like that. So this is a very good combination setup, is a very good defensive, offensive, as well as Jamming Wave and Afterburner, although both of them need face-up cards to respond to their effects. Their secondary effects are great, but you need, numbers of spells and traps in the graveyard in order for those to keep going. I want to talk about the Shark Cannon. So this is a very random insert card here for me because I was going to use the other mech card, the cannon, not this cannon, but the other one, and I didn't like its effect. So I read up on Shark Cannon, and I was like, oh, this is really good because you can banish the monster in the graveyard, and if you're bold enough, steal it and use it for your own. So I just pretty much use it to where I need to knock out nasty threats, or I need to deal with something in the graveyard I don't want in the graveyard, and I need to relatively be on my side or out of my way. Next is the Hornet Drone. The Hornet Drone pretty much is just token fodder. It's token maker and token setup. easily part of the reason why this card had to go to 1 is because there's just too many ways to abuse making a token. Like, you chain this to its activation, chain another one to its activation, you're pretty much rocking 3 tokens and a monster, and you're pretty much like, okay, we'll link summon and go into something big. And it's ultimately what does a lot of these token cards is because link monsters just make it so much easier to summon a lot of them, but it doesn't make it harder for a lot of their effects and requirements to go off. I think for the most part, I don't really need to talk about Engage or Widow Anchor. Hornet Base is pretty much a pot of avarice for this deck, except you can't get another copy of it to put in. You have to wait to the end. You pretty much just have to hope and dream. I do like combining it with the cards next to it. One of them is multi-roll, where I can pop the effects of my I can pop my Hornet Base and then recycle from there. Not only that, but defeating my spell cards and their activations. Or I can use Area Zero's effect to pop it, and then excavate so I can get cards from the deck as well, in addition to sending cards back to the deck. So I do like the fact that I have at least those cards to benefit from, so as Twin Twisters and its setup. Regeki, Dark Hole are pretty much just the massive monster removal cards in the game. Still can't believe at the time of this recording, Regeki got unbanned and is getting unbanned in the OCG and getting reprinted in the next structure deck, which is set to come out soon after their list is released in the OCG. So fingers crossed if you get the print in the GCG. As far as everything else goes, Foolish Burial is just to help speed up Skystriker Ace or Grave getting into the graveyard. I was still questioning if I wanted to put this in here, but I like a lot of the one-ups, and this is a great one-up for the late game, or well, for the mid to late game. So I did want to put that in there. Monster Reborn is ever so faithful to a lot of this. Doesn't matter what monster you're taking, I'm going to summon it to the field from the graveyard. Am I forgetting anything? Widow Anchor and Engage are broke. Very good cards offensively and defensively, a lot of setups. The Upstart Goblin is just an additional draw factor, so, and Rhoda helps search for Skystriker Ace, right? Because that's pretty much your biggest hitter. As far as traps go, Infinity is your effect veiler. That's in a way easier summon veiler. Also, the benefit to it, anything in the column that was any cards that are going to be activated in the same column this card was will not activate its effects. So you have a lot of defenses there too, and a lot of offensive things there as well. So you can easily use this from your hand. If you control no other cards, you can easily help defend a lot of things as well. Just like I said, very offensive, defensive card, very expensive because of what it does, and very, very useful at what it does. Red Reboot still an option. Alright, and then now let's go on to the monsters from any extra deck. Suzuku and Kagiri are pretty much your 3 ofs. Why Kagiri's getting cards from graveyard, Suzuku is getting cards from the deck at the end phase. Minus 100 attack and defense for every spell in your graveyard to all your opponent's monsters. Why Kagiri gains 100 attack for every spell and trap card for herself. That way she can knock over stuff. As much as Kina is the latest monster to this edition, I think Kina's biggest usage is running into Trickstar. Dealing with Trickstar, dealing with Burn, being able to gain your life points and stuff like that. You just gotta watch out for a lot of those decks. With the stall and the life gain and all that. Just, watching out for that with Kina does help. Because if you can get Kina on the field and regain a lot of your life points, you're perfectly fine. And really just don't have to worry about that. Let's talk about Hayate. Although Hayate and Wind haven't been 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest yays, Hayate's ability to attack directly does help in that sense, and then discarding a Skystriker card from your deck to the graveyard, so that way Kagiri can pick it up during the end phase, during her summon, and then you can easily go through a lot of those things. I said her summon, but I meant to say when she summoned, so that way Hayate sets up for her, and then she can get Kagiri. Kagiri can go into Suzuku, and Suzuku on the end phase can get some cards. Needle Fiber, because I'm running so many of these tokens, these tuners, why not? Flushing them out for the main deck, and then going to stuff like my Hyper Speedroid. Assisting him in that sense also is this lovely lady here, Summoner Sorceress. I haven't really pulled off the combo, but the combo for Summoner Sorceress in this deck is pretty much like you summon Ray, you go into Hayate, you activate Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron will allow you to summon. Um, no, not Jet Synchron, but you pretty much set up to where you can go into someone like Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber helps with that, and then yeah, it's like good goes from Sorceress. Then you go into Tapologic Bomber, Dragon, and some crazy shenanigans with Tapologic Bomber because of the fact that he has the ability that when any card steps into a zone he points to, destroy all monsters on the field that are in the main monster zone. And that just clears everything. And for a 3,000 attacker, yeah, that is something to be very afraid of. But also be very worried of, because if you summon something that this card points to, like I said, it's going to try to blow it up. So you need stuff to help defend it. Now, on the bright side, I do have the urge and do want to really get myself a barrel sword dragon, because this thing is awesome. The fact that it can attack, the fact that it's such a good offensive and defensive card is just amazing. And this deck really does benefit a lot from it. If I can summon it fast enough, then yes. But I'm not going to push it too far. I'm just enjoying it for the ride. And then the Hyper Speedroid Kanabara, one tuner, one or more non-tuners. When this card makes a second attack during each battle phase at the start of damage step, this card battles 200 additional attack. And then you can send a Speedroid card, target one banished Speedroid card. You can discard when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Speedroid cards and add it to your hand. You only special summon one Hyper Speedroid Canabaras per turn. So, I'm not too worried about this card. I think this card is still amazing. I think it has a lot of benefits, a lot of usage. It's just going to take it a minute to really pop off. Like a lot of people seen it, and a lot of the replays that I've seen with this deck. But honestly, I like it. I wouldn't really change it unless we get like new cards and just try to spruce it up to deal with a lot of the meta game. With Sky Striker Aces, I feel like I said, the only real issues and problems this deck has is dealing with big monsters and then dealing with Secret Village of the Spellcasters. So, yeah, Twin Twisters all the way. But no, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys do enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button, that nice little pretty bell, so you guys can be informed when I post my videos on my channel and live streams and stuff like that. So, Yu-Gi-Oh players, my Yu-Gi-Oh live streams are on Sundays from around 1 to 3. I will always keep you guys updated if anything changes. So I could be from playing YGO Pro, or I could go and play Duel Links. So it really just depends on my mood. I've been on the Duel Links kick, and a lot of good things have happened in Duel Links. So I'm looking forward to that. So I will see you guys next time. And HCJ signing out. Take care.